Hi everybody, this is January 31st, 2026, and this is part of a video journal of my recovery from the trauma of having my little brother Paul Kierans, 64, with Down syndrome, be locked away by the British Columbia New Democratic Party government, David Eby, as leader for 588 days, and then he died. They locked Paul up and terminated our visits permanently when I complained to the Burnaby RCMP after I discovered a secret and what I alleged to be a fraudulent and forged power of attorney the Paul's government group home created to give him the COVID-19 shot on February 1st of 2021. So I did everything in my power to try and restore Paul's visits. We were only allowed a 10-minute telephone call, not even a video, not even a Zoom call once a week. And I did everything. I went to the Human Rights Tribunal. I went through the courts, and I was not able to restore our in-person visits. And when I complained, the reason that my visits were terminated, as I said, was that I complained to the Burnaby RCMP after I discovered that the group home had created what I alleged to be a fraudulent and forged power of attorney over my little brother, taking all his civil and human rights away and appointing my 82-year-old Catholic nun sister 4,000 kilometers away in Ontario as Paul's guardian. She was 16 years older than Paul. She moved out of our home after he was born. She's never lived with him. She didn't understand his speech. And the document was a secret from Paul's other siblings. My two sisters and I had been caring for Paul on weekends and holidays since my mother moved him out here to Greater Vancouver to be closer to us. So I did everything in my power between September 12th of 2022 until Paul passed away on April 23rd of 2024 to try and restore his visits, but I was not successful. And then once my sister had been contacted by the Burnaby RCMP after they were ordered to reopen the investigation into this document, what I alleged to be a fraudulent forged power of attorney, when she found out that Burnaby RCMP had contacted me and told me that they were going to reopen the investigation, she asked her lawyers to bring on an application to have me designated as a vexatious litigant. It's a very rare designation in Canada that completely takes away your access to Canadian courts. I went to law school in British Columbia. I was the first single mother to graduate law school in in British Columbia. I practiced law for 23 years before I became disabled in an accident. So my sister asked her, and the Catholic Church paid to have two law firms apply to have me declared and designated a vexatious litigant. And after Paul died, they continued to pursue me. There was a 4-day hearing in November of 2024, and I was designated a vexatious litigant. That's destroyed my credit rating, and taken away my credibility so that the Burnaby RCMP never contacted me again. Obviously, if you're a vexatious litigant, they're not going to want to use you as a witness in any kind of investigation. So I applied to set aside this designation to the Court of Appeal of British Columbia, and I was not successful. And I've applied for permission to appeal that designation to the Supreme Court of Canada. And I had completed my application for permission on September 3rd of 2025. And I just found out the day before yesterday that the Supreme Court of Canada is going to release their decision on whether I have permission to appeal that designation as a vexatious litigant to the Supreme Court of Canada. I submit that it is a case of national importance, because it will have a chilling effect on people like me. Family members and loved ones of disabled persons in Canada contribute $100 billion to their care and upkeep per year. And also it's going to discourage people like me who are the eyes and ears on the ground as to the care of vulnerable disabled people. It will discourage them from going to the police and reporting what may be criminal behavior or unlawful behavior relating to vulnerable people. So it's a very important case to be allowed to go before the Supreme Court of Canada. It has to be a case of national importance, which I definitely think this is. My sister has had, I estimate, spent, the Catholic Church, of which I'm a member, has spent $2 million. They had two top law firms working around the clock for her, and I've been representing myself. So please continue to help. As I said, the decision will be released on Thursday, February the 5th, next week. So what I'm asking people to do is contribute to my GoFundMe account. I have a GoFundMe to help with the costs, expenses. I've been doing all the legal work, but to help with the legal expenses like photocopying and filing fees. There'll be filing fees and travel fees associated if I am granted leave to appeal. So please contribute to our GoFundMe account. I put a link to the GoFundMe in the description box for this video. Every little bit helps give me courage and the will to go on. And if you can't afford to contribute to the GoFundMe, or even if you can, please call the Supreme Court Registry on Monday morning. I'll put the telephone number in the description box for this video. So give them a call and express an interest. Just ask them what's the status of Kathleen Walker versus Kierans, file number 41902. And I'll put that information in the description box for this video as well. So there's two things you can do. Number one, contribute to our GoFundMe account by just clicking on the link in the description box to the video, and call and give the Supreme Court of Canada Registry a quick call on Monday morning and ask about the status of my case. Thank you so much for all your love and support. I really appreciate it. It's really carried me through this. The last 5 years have been, since I've retired, have been just hell. But if I can make life better for people who follow, for family members who follow in my footsteps in the caring for their loved ones, it'll all be worth it. We're down to the wire. Please help. Thank you so much.